And welcome to another episode of Hashtag The Road. I am here in Raleigh, North Carolina, looking for a baseball stadium that Jackie Robinson played at 75 years ago, and it's somewhere over there. My name is Milo Beasley. With 20 plus years in the professional wrestling industry, combined with my love for traveling, I've seen some pretty cool things over the years. Now I bring you along in these travels, as I never know where I'll end up or what I'll see or do along the way. With more than 4 million miles of roadways in the United States alone, we have a lot of ground to cover. So join me, if you will, on Hashtag The Road. Here at the corner of West Street and Peace Street, here in Raleigh, North Carolina, sits a piece of baseball history. We're gonna go see if we can find it. Ow. Oh, ow. Okay. Ow. Okay. Okay. So supposedly, back here through this jungly walkway sits the remains, the ruins of a baseball stadium. But oh God, this is a horror movie. This is a horror movie, isn't it? All right, through the open brush, we get to this big area where we're looking for the stadium. So somewhere within all this foliage, hopefully there's no animals. On the other side of all of this is a wall. There you go, right there. Right there, found it. This wall, this wood. Look at this. More than 85 years ago, in 1938, this wall was part of Devereaux Meadows baseball stadium that was home to the first minor league baseball team here in the Raleigh, Durham area. Of course, we have the Durham Bulls now right down the road. But before the Durham Bulls was the Capitals, and they played right here. Get out of all of this. They played right here in what was Devereaux Meadows baseball stadium. And while not the easiest place to see or get to, I think right here, right there, another, you can kind of tell from the, it's like a ledge right here, which would have been down the third baseline. This wall right here. This wall that I'm touching right here was part of the third baseline. Now it's all, of course, covered. Now I know you're asking yourself, Milo, why do I care about this baseball stadium that wasn't here? But as I mentioned, Jackie Robinson played here. He took his all-star team, a traveling all-star team in 1950, and played right here at Devereaux Meadows baseball stadium. Why is that important? Because this is one of the very first times, especially within the city of Raleigh, that people of different races sat together in the same stadium, in the same stands, the same bleachers to watch a baseball game. Other Hall of Famers, Carl Yastrzemski played right here. Gosh, this is incredible. This is baseball history, and covered up. Oh, that's a bee. He probably wasn't happy. I probably stomped to his home. Baseball history before the Durham Bulls here in the Triangle area. It's at Devereaux Meadows Stadium. Now, another reason why Jackie Robinson's all-star team was so important, because Devereaux Meadows was named after John Devereaux Jr. We're not going to go into the history too much of who he was, but if you want to go on the internet and see, so let's just say he was a plantation owner. Let's just say that. So for Jackie Robinson to come in here and to fight segregation here in the city of Raleigh is quite incredible. Now I wish we could, like, you can kind of see, like, right there is a ledge right there, and that is the top of the wall. So you can kind of see the top of the wall that goes all the way right there, all the way down. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to be able to, honestly, I wasn't sure what I was going to be able to see here today. But it's, the fact that it's a broken wall, and I was able to just touch it. It's still pretty cool, right? So Devereaux Stadium, a little bit of history about the actual stadium. Built in 1940, hosted the, as I said, the Raleigh Caps, because Raleigh's the capital. So the Raleigh Capitals here, 1945. And then other teams, the Mets and Phillies, Cardinals, I believe, were all associated with the team. And it would have been right about where home plate would have been here at Devereaux Meadows Baseball Stadium. Home plate right about there. Then they would hit home runs onto what is now Capitol Boulevard. But there was a giant wall, just like, since it was created by the Red Sox organization. So there was a giant green monster-like wall there. So that way it would prevent the, hopefully, the balls going onto the highway there. But a green monster-like wall, just like at Fenway Park. And the stadium actually held 7,000 people, which was, at the time, in the 1940s, a third of the entire Raleigh population. It's getting really, a third of the entire population of Raleigh would come here to baseball games and watch Hall of Famers like Carl Yastrzemski. In 1968, Raleigh and Durham worked together to co-run a team in the Carolina League, where they would split time between here in Devereaux Stadium and then in Durham. That lasted about 4 years. Until the team full-time moved to Durham, which pretty much left Devereaux Meadow Baseball Stadium non-usable. Now, it was used for recreation games, schools, local communities would use the baseball stadium, but it was no longer being used as a minor league baseball stadium as it had since the 1940s, now through the 1970s. So it ended up sitting there, wasting away until it was finally torn down. And all that's left is a couple walls back there underneath all of this ivy. But fear not for those of you who are like, gosh, man, it's such a waste to have this area, this historical area for baseball be a parking lot for government utility vehicles. Well, good news, maybe. Depends on if you work here, because maybe not the good news. They're going to be building a park here, not a baseball stadium, but a park. The Smoky Hollow Neighborhood Project, I believe it's called, will be breaking ground in 2026. And he's not happy about it. He's not happy about it at all. Breaking ground in 2026 and hopefully being completed by 2028. So maybe when we're here again in Raleigh in 2028, we can come revisit this park. I wonder if this is ridiculous, right? But for now, this is what sits in the spot of the Devereaux Meadow Baseball Stadium, located between, right here off Peace, between West and Capitol Boulevard. Right here was one time a great piece of baseball history. What will the future hold?